G'day and a warm welcome to CruiseAway, Australia's top TV destination for everything cruise and holiday planning, where we take you around the world in under 60 minutes and help you to book your way to fabulous holiday packages available today for a low deposit to make your bucket list plans something that turns from just dreams into reality.
Absolutely, we love dreaming, and ticking off the bucket list is exactly what we're talking about in this show as we set a course for destinations you've only dreamed of visiting. To give you a very small flavour, how about the Arctic Circle and Midnight Sun? Well, they're on the way, as well as New York and New England in the fall, the best time to see it. We'll also be visiting the untamed Amazon through the jungle, but we'll guide you through, plus Africa, the Ivory Coast and more.
So prepare to be wowed, especially as we offer you more holiday for less dollar when we cruise away together. Now, we're one of the biggest names in the cruise booking business. Allow us to show you more.
Here at CruiseAway, we've been sending Australian travellers on amazing cruise holidays for over 25 years. Our award-winning team specialise in bringing you the best deals from all major cruise lines, sailing right across the globe. Whether you're looking to cruise locally or afar, with thousands of unmissable deals available right now, you can be sure we'll find you your perfect cruise holiday. So, if you're ready, let's go cruising.
Yes, let's go cruising. It is what we do, remember, and you know what? This show is brilliant. It's brilliant for everyone because we're talking about holidays, we're talking about vacations, we're talking about getting away from the everyday. Do you know what? That means also being able to escape the headlines as well. It's a magical holiday before you've even taken it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like being in your own little cozy cruise bubble when you're on board. Nothing to worry about. Everything's done for you. Your bed's made, your food's made, your entertainment's right there downstairs from your stateroom. So what is there to worry about really, other than, am I going to spend my afternoon reading, watching a show, doing an activity, or just eating?
It's a tough choice, it really is. Right, let's get cracking with our first offer then. And we cruise with Royal Caribbean on this adventure. An adventure it really is as well, because it's the Arctic Circle and the Midnight Sun. It's an 18-night holiday. It starts on the 14th of June. And we're going to fly you from Sydney, not to the Arctic Circle, but to Amsterdam. Ooh. That's where we're going first. And we've got a 2-night stay in a hotel in Amsterdam. Now, of course, you know what there is to do in Amsterdam. Amazing, amazing city. You've got all the amazing canals there. You can hire a bike. That's the best way to get around Amsterdam. Yes. See it on a bike as well. Ring your bell up and down the streets. It's as flat as a pancake. You'll love it.
Yeah, and you've got things like the Anne Frank House. You've got the Van Gogh Museum. Van Gogh, potato, potato. I don't know how to say it. How do we say it? We say Van Gogh, don't we? Also delicious cheese, fantastic chocolates.
Diamonds.
Diamonds. Picture opportunities around every corner. You've got to ride the trams as well to get a good viewpoint of the city. But it is full of culture, history and delightful cuisine. Take a river cruise. That's a fun thing to do as well. And perhaps have a nice sort of dine and cruise experience. Oh, you're going to love Amsterdam.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yes.
It's beautiful. You're there for 2 nights as well, which is pretty special, let me tell you.
And after that, you are going to be boarding the gorgeous Jewel of the Seas Royal Caribbean for 12 fabulous nights. This is one of the first cruise ships I ever worked on, and she is gorgeous. Lots of glass all around, gorgeous sculpture. They've got this big Swarovski display up in the disco too. And, you know, it's really open. It's very friendly, this ship. It really is. Being one of the sort of mid-sized Royal Caribbean vessels, you've got that familiarity, you know, that friendliness from your stateroom steward to your dining server. They will be there to make you feel welcome and well accommodated no matter what you're doing at what time in the day. Lots of lovely destinations for filling your plate. You should see the size of the plates up in the buffet. I mean, they're more like trays. I mean, you can literally, and you've got, the thing is, you've got food from every corner of the globe up there in the buffet, whether you want sushi or Mexican, whether you want Japanese or like that good hearty traditional British cuisine, it's there for you. And then there's the specialty dining at Zumi. You've got Rita's Cantina for a touch of Mexican, the Doghouse, really good hot dogs right there, and so much more. And you will absolutely love the feeling of feeling pampered and relaxed up in your spa. So go up there, book your treatments, have something to look forward to when you come back from port, or maybe a day at sea and you're on holiday. So you can just take it at your own pace. Now we're going to be cruising out of the port for Amsterdam, enjoying a day at sea before heading into Greenland, Norway. Now, I mean, I tell you what, this is beautiful, picture perfect. And being there at this time of year is uniquely special in Norway. Of course, we're going to be enjoying the fjords. So you're actually going to have scenic cruising through the Arctic Circle. And this is where you can enjoy that kind of midnight sun. Now, the Arctic is home to a lot of beautiful wildlife, including polar bears, seals, the beluga whale, the snow owl, and so much more. So you might be lucky enough to spot some incredible wildlife. Then we have an overnight in Honningsvåg, and this will give you an opportunity to explore the North Cape by tour and stroll the cute art galleries and museums downtown. I think I definitely want to be exploring that Northern Cape. And of course, with overnight in port, you've got plenty of time. There's an ice bar there as well in town. That's fun. Next, we're into Ålesund for the Atlantic Gorgeous Sea Park and Runda Island. Maybe you're going to stroll around and take some pictures of those beautiful coloured houses that Norway's famous for. Flam's our next port, but this is my favourite one. The Flam Railway is fantastic. You see the most gorgeous views, I think, of the entire trip. Then we're off into Olden for that winding, peaceful valley vibe, meeting colossal glaciers, which, you know, lead into crashing waterfalls as well. Malden, Norway is our next port, where you can see again more gorgeous natural beauty. It's very peaceful. You've got the valleys there meeting that backdrop of the mountains. Then we are heading back into Amsterdam, where we'll disembark. But we're not heading home to Australia just yet, because you've got a further night to enjoy everything the gorgeous Dutch capital has to offer, and there's just so much there to, you know, feast your eyes on. Whether it's strolling around and doing a touch of shopping, picking up those last-minute souvenirs to take home, or seeing one of the many incredible galleries, you know, on offer in Amsterdam. And then, yeah, we'll be flying you right back home to Sydney, Australia. What an amazing adventure this one is.
It is a brilliant, brilliant adventure, actually, because you've kind of got the best of the Norwegian fjords here, up to the Arctic Circle, lots of scenic cruising as well, and then some time in Amsterdam. So you've got, you know, that very much a contrast between the two. It's lovely. It's a really, really lovely holiday, actually. 18 nights in total on this one, which is very, very nice indeed. Comes up in June as well, which is a lovely time to be in that part of the world as well. It's a good time to see the Norwegian fjords. A lot of people think, okay, the Norwegian fjords, they must be cold all the time. You have some amazing weather.
Oh, the
up
summer
in,
is spectacular, and you can have some really lovely hot sunny days there as well. But even if it isn't sunny, you'll still enjoy the drama of that backdrop. You know, up on deck, just watching the waterfalls, the glaciers, the fjords. It's incredible. What a special part of the world to visit.
And of course, when you're up at the Arctic Circle, you kind of want it to be snowy and icy,
yes.
And that's because that's what your mind sees, isn't it,
Yeah.
when you say the word? So that's what you want to see. Right, okay, well, we've got so much included in this holiday. Again, with us here at CruiseAway, massive, massive value for money always. And do you know what? I'm just going to roll the numbers on this straight away, because it is an amazing price tag, including the flights, the stays in Amsterdam, and that incredible and very, very scenic and memorable cruise as well. $5,299 per person right now. June comes up quicker than you think as well, by the way, so I would get this in the diary as quickly as you possibly can. And it might be a destination where you're thinking, do you know what, I hadn't thought of going there before, but what an interesting itinerary. And remember, you can look at it in more details by going into our website, cruiseaway.com.au, pop in this cruise ID number, and you get the full itinerary, but you also get a map. You get a map so you can zoom in and know exactly where you are going. Let's have a look at the details as well in terms of the cruise and in terms of upgrading that experience. 12 nights, remember, out of the 18 you are on board Jewel of the Seas with Royal Caribbean there. This is a pretty amazing adventure, actually. Flying Sydney to Amsterdam, 2 nights in a hotel there, 12 nights on Jewel of the Seas with Royal Caribbean there, cruising up through the Norwegian fjords up to the Arctic Circle there. And I tell you what's really, really charming ports in the Norwegian fjords there. Joe mentioned the Flam Railway, which is very memorable indeed, and Olden's one of my favourite ports. It's beautiful. Come off the cruise in Amsterdam, an extra night in a hotel there, and then your flight back to Sydney. Now, this package is based on a Sydney flight, but We can fly you from other cities as well. So speak to the team toll free. 1300 306 134 is our telephone number to dial if you are interested in that offer. It's very, very different actually, isn't it? It's really, really nice. And it is lovely, lovely. It's a very, very popular destination for cruisers in Europe, actually, who love going up to the Norwegian fjords because they are very, very memorable indeed. They are lovely. That memory lives with you a long time. Right. Okie dokie. Well, we're changing everything right now. We're changing cruise lines. We're changing destinations. We are doing it all. And I think you're going to like this, actually, because you hear that phrase in the air, Canada and New England in the fall. And 1 year, you've got to see it.
So we are going from Norwegian glaciers and fjords to beautiful coloured leaves falling from the trees over in New England as we venture to New York, New England and the Caribbean. And it includes 3 nights in New York, which is a brilliant amount of time, actually. 26 nights all in, leaving on the 12th of October, where you'll fly from Sydney to New York and you'll get to enjoy the Big Apple with a 3-night pre-cruise stay. Wow.
I'm liking this holiday more and more by the second.
Oh, me too. This is the city that never sleeps for a reason. It never sleeps. Exactly. You have this unique energy to New York. I mean, there's nowhere quite like it. It's ever moving, ever exciting. And whether you are strolling around Central Park, just taking in the city from a distance and seeing that horizon, that skyline, the famous Manhattan skyline, or you can take a carriage ride through the park too, or you are, strolling around Times Square and getting selfies with the big signboards, you will love everything New York has to offer. Take a cruise on the Circle Line and enjoy the Statue of Liberty in Ellis Island, or perhaps do a spot of shopping on Fifth Avenue and head to Macy's. A show is a must on Broadway. The bright lights of Broadway await you on this trip as you start your adventure in fabulous New York City, the Big Apple. But then we are going to be boarding the beautiful MSC Meraviglia, and this is going to be 21 fabulous nights.
Oh my word. Now, I was just on a cruise on Meraviglia in the summer, and honestly, this is incredible. What a wonderful, wonderful ship. You know what? You've got so much to enjoy on this. It's really lovely because, do you know what? The Meraviglia is like a tale of two halves, really, because you've got smart, elegant, stylish, Instagrammable venues. And then you've got the fun that happens up on the pool deck, in the sportsplex, on the simulators. You've got this really, really nice mix of social spaces, activity spaces. You see all these different things there are to do as well. The kids, if you're taking the kids with you, they are going to absolutely love it there. You've got the Polar Aqua Park there. Phenomenal restaurants
so, Derek,
as well,
what was your favourite part of this cruise on board Meraviglia, would you say?
Do you know what? I stood more times than I care to remember in the Galleria, which is in the centre of the ship, which hopefully we'll see in just a second. Here are just some of the restaurants that you can see here. But there's like a big illuminated dome through the centre of the ship, the Galleria. It's where all the shops and the bars and restaurants and loads of things happen in the central area of the ship. And the Sky Lounge is so great for an escape. Brilliant theatre shows because MSC, they cater for an international audience. So actually there's a real international flavour. Very visual, their shows are. They're amazing. They're really, really good.
And favourite restaurant?
Oh, I think for me, absolutely, it's got to be Butcher's Cut, which is the steak restaurant, the specialty restaurant. Yeah, you've got to be doing. Got to be done. Filet mignon with a nice glass of Malbec is my recommendation.
Well, you know what? We're going to be cruising out of New York, and the first port is lovely Newport, Rhode Island, where you can stroll the Ocean Drive, head up to the famous mansions, or perhaps take a winery tour. This area is known for its wines as well, all whilst drinking in the beautiful changing leaves. Boston's our next port, Boston, for the Freedom Trail, for amazing Quincy Marketplace, which has got so much incredible food and lots to shop for. Charlottetown, Canada is where we're heading next. You can stroll along the boardwalk and enjoy everything from the St Dunstan's Basilica through to Victoria Park right here, but these are so picturesque. We're on to Sydney, Canada, home of the biggest fiddle in the world. You've got to have a selfie taken with that, haven't you? Take a nice coastal walk there. Talking of coastal walks, Halifax boasts one of the world's longest coast urban boardwalk spanning the length of the waterfront for 4 kilometres. So you can see everything from coffee shops to shops there. Then on to St John's, which is Canada's oldest city and the only city located on the Bay of Fundy. It's filled with history from the early settlers and fascinating maritime past. Then we're back into New York for the day. So another day to explore the Big Apple, perhaps taking in anything you missed the first time, such as the Empire State. And then we're into Port Canaveral for some gorgeous sunshine in South Florida. You can visit the Kennedy Space Center easily from here and shopping malls. Cozumel, Mexico is our next port. This incredible island boasts lots of natural beauty and fantastic snorkeling. You can even swim with sea lions. Then we're into Costa Maya. One of my favorite things to do here is to take a golf buggy and just venture on to the local village Mahual for that traditional Mexican flair. Great tacos there. Nassau is calling us next, and this is the capital of the Bahamas for fantastic Atlantis, that amazing hotel. We can dive with the sharks. Guess what? We're going to be visiting MSC's private island next, and this is the marine reserve known as Ocean Cay. It's been built to preserve the natural marine life in this area, so you have some of the best snorkeling and diving opportunities on your entire adventure. Whether you are going in yourself or just watching from afar in a glass bottom boat or kayak, I tell you what, you will be blown away by the colour of that ocean. There's nothing quite like the ocean in the Bahamas. It's crystal clear. A couple of days at sea will take us back into New York, where we'll disembark and we'll fly you back into Sydney, Australia, after taking in the leafy East Coast right down into Florida and the Caribbean. Wow.
I know, it's incredible, isn't it? It's such a brilliant opportunity, this. Again, the breadth of the travel, I think, when we see these really exciting itineraries, just think of all the different places it is going to. And they are all very different as well, which I love. And I love that you get a real good taste of New York with your 3 nights, and then you come back for another day during the cruise itinerary, because there will be something in those 3 nights that you couldn't get in, or the restaurant didn't have a free table, or there will be something that you want to go back and do in New York. So have the opportunity halfway through the cruise to be able to do that, I think it's absolutely brilliant. Right, now this is for October, so I can offer you an opportunity right now to put a deposit down on this to fix the cost that we've got. So $2,800 per person right now as a deposit. We'll get this secured for you, and the price tag, I tell you what, I feel like you could spend this on flights and a hotel to New York there and back. Have a little look at your price tag here. And when you consider all the things that this holiday has to offer, that price tag is phenomenal. And I tell you what, it would be difficult to arrange this holiday by yourself and travel to all of these different places. Imagine how many different arrangements you would have to make. It would be... oh, it's making me shiver just to think about it. Let's go and have a look at the details then in terms of the cruise. If you want to do an upgrade on the cruise there for you, we've got a balcony price there, because this is already proving very popular in terms of the cruise itself. So just the balcony option there as an upgrade for you. Amazing balconies on Meraviglia, by the way. I was lucky enough to enjoy one in the summer, and it is lovely just waking up first thing in the morning, opening that door, and just watching what goes on outside. It's brilliant. It's lovely. Now, on this one then, remember, we fly out from Sydney to New York. We have 3 nights in a hotel in New York, which is incredible. That's included in the price. Then you're on MSC Meraviglia for 21 nights there, and you've got some incredible ports on that itinerary as well. You are doing Canada and New England in the fall, should I say, and then heading down to Port Canaveral, into Mexico, out to the Bahamas, to MSC's private marine reserve for the day as well, and then back into New York for the flight back to Sydney. This is based on a Sydney flight, but we can fly you from other cities as well, as usual. Speak to the team, 1300 306 134. Remember, that's a toll-free number as well. What an incredible offer, and we've only scratched the surface. There's plenty more offers to come in this show. But if you're new to CruiseAway, well, we've been around in the business for a long time, and here's why you should be booking with us.
With over 25 years of travel experience, when booking with CruiseAway, you're dealing with the cruise specialists. We can tailor-make the perfect holiday for you, adding hotel stays and exciting land tours so you can fully immerse yourself in the destinations you're visiting. We allow you to spread the cost of your holiday. Just pay a deposit today and then you have until the due date to pay your balance. You can browse our deals online at cruiseaway.com.au or call us toll-free and speak to one of our experienced cruise consultants based right here in Australia. Plus, as a fully accredited member of CLIA, AFTA and ATAS, you have total confidence and complete peace of mind when booking with us. CruiseAway, you know you want to.
Absolutely. You know you want to.
Yeah, definitely.
Get booking, get looking. There's so much to feast your eyes on our website. And of course, all your details are right here on the screen, along with our toll-free number. But how about we take you further afield than I would say most cruisers ever venture?
Oh, yeah.
This is an amazing kind of undiscovered territory of the world. So what's even more spectacular is that you can reach it by cruise and see these amazing places. Have I piqued your interest there? Are you ready to hear what it's all about? Well, we're going to be heading on Holland America Line to Africa and the Ivory Coast, including Morocco and Europe for, wait for this, 41 nights.
What?
Yep.
41 nights of holiday. Wow. And I tell you what, just before we start going through this holiday, all of us, our team, Joe, you've worked in cruise for a long time. I've been talking on TV about cruises for well over a decade. This itinerary you never will have heard of before. It really is like a golden pearl in travel. It's brilliant. It comes up on the 11th of March, so it's not that long to wait actually on this one. So let's get started straight away. 41 nights, it's a lot to go through. So let's fly first from Sydney to Cape Town in South Africa, where your adventure begins with a 2-night stay. In fact, you know what, you're going to absolutely love this. And you've got a 2-night stay. When you join your cruise, you'll get an overnight in port as well. So you've got 2 nights in a hotel, plus your first night on the ship is also there as well.
Brilliant. So that's 3 nights in total in Cape Town and enough time to see this incredible kind of cultural capital of South Africa. This is the one that everyone gravitates to. Right, we're going to be boarding the gorgeous Zuidam, a ship I know well because I worked on her for a whole season, and you've got 35 nights on board. She really will become your home from home, the beautiful and elegant Zuidam. Out on deck sunbathing by those beautiful pools, or perhaps enjoying the hot tub with a glass of champers or a cocktail in hand. There's no wrong way to spend a day on the Zuidam. You know, she's a beautiful vessel. She is elegantly appointed but not over the top. Now, the first thing that will hit you when you get on board a Holland America Line vessel is that it's much more low-key, and it is that more subtle, elegant approach to aesthetic on a cruise ship, and for me, I love that. The lighting designs are, you know, created just so you feel beautifully at home on board the vessel, and there's no end of things to wet your whistle whilst you're on board, including lots of destination-specific lectures. And as we are heading out to Africa, I mean, there'll be so many experts flown on board, from wildlife to ecology experts. It's really interesting to hear the destination lectures on this part of the world, actually.
Yeah, I think as well, you're right, actually being a slightly more low-key, slightly more slow-paced life on board, it's perfectly in step with the itinerary that you're about to do as well.
Yes.
Because that's all about discovery, and that's a lot to take in, and you're going to lots of different places, lots of new cultures you're drinking in, lots of new experiences. You're going far off the beaten track. Most people never cruise to these parts of the world, which is incredible. So to have that lovely relaxing feel when you come back of an evening, incredible. So you're overnight for your first night in Cape Town, and then a day at sea.
A day at sea sees us into Luderitz, Namibia. This is a town known for its colonial architecture and beautiful Art Nouveau murals and work around the port. Then we're into Walvis Bay, again in Namibia. You've got Artificial Bird Island there. You've got the guano collection industry, and got the Sand Dune 7, which is very famous for this part. Star Wars was filmed there. Luanda is our next port, where you can see great cultural and historical heritage and beautiful nature as well. Crossing the equator takes us in to Takoradi in Ghana, which is a home for incredible safaris, but the The Kakum National Park is the place to see wildlife right here. We're in the Ivory Coast next. Amazing. You're going to see lots of natural wonders here, including the Grand Bassam and the Parc du Banco. Then we're on into Banjul, also in the Gambia. Beautiful nature reserve right there to see. And I think I'm just going to be, if I'm on this trip, I'm seeing all the nature I can because it's the thing to see in this part of the world. Dakar, Senegal is your next port, where you can absolutely enjoy the incredible Pink Lake or the Gory Island. Then we're switching gears onto Europe, into Tenerife, where you can enjoy the natural wonders, the geothermal wonders of Tenerife, including Mount Teide National Park. Onto Lanzarote. They've got natural geysers and incredible hot springs in Lanzarote. Also fantastic beaches. And the Timfania Park is the thing to see right there. Agadir, Morocco's on export. This has got, you can go and see a traditional Casbah and do a little bit of shopping and negotiating in the Souk El Had as well. But that's not our only port in Morocco. Casablanca's on export, of course, famed for that movie that we all know and love. Admire the architecture and walk around the incredible church right there. Tangier is our next port and our final port in Africa, as we enjoy right here the Tangier Casbah, or perhaps the Caves of Hercules. Amazing sights to see. Next we're into Malaga, Spain, in Andalusia, where you're just a stone's throw from the Alhambra Palace over in Granada. It's a must-see. It's amazing. Moorish architecture at its finest right there. On to Cadiz. Talking of Moorish architecture, you've got the Alcazar of Seville on this beautiful orange tree-lined promenade, and there's a lovely market right by the river in Seville as well. We're on into Lisbon. Talking of markets, they've got the Time Out Market with over 100 stalls, so you can get your very finest food right there, and the Belém Tower and the wooden trams. La Coruña, Spain, so this is up in Galicia. You're right near Santiago de Compostela. The famed pilgrimage, of course, ends there. Into Brest, France, where you can see the incredible castle. If you love your castles in these European ports, this is going to be something that will just make your jaw drop. Into Portland, England. This is a cute little island off the coast of Dorset, where you are very easy to reach Stonehenge or Winchester Cathedral or even Bath from here. Then we're on to the port for France, Le Havre, where a short trip will take you into all the sights of Paris, such as the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe and the Louvre Museum. Bruges is on export. Gilded, gorgeous buildings, waffles and chocolate. Yes, this is what Belgium's known for. It doesn't disappoint. Then we're into Amsterdam, where we'll disembark and we'll have 2 fabulous nights in this wonderful Dutch city. If you can explore by bike, it's the way to see Amsterdam. It's how all the locals do it. There's lots of fun things to do and see. The trams, ride the trams as well. Head to some of the incredible art galleries and museums. Monet, Van Gogh, just to name a few. And then you have the Anne Frank house, of course. But you'll just be in awe down every corner. Now, you've got 41 nights in total with 23 ports where we'll be taking in South Africa, all of these different unusual ports in Africa, like Namibia, Ghana, the Ivory Coast, Gambia, Senegal, and then into Europe, where you get to enjoy the Canary Islands, onto Morocco, back into Africa there, into Portugal, Cadiz, Spain. I mean, my goodness, this is like a kind of mini world adventure, if you ask me.
Yeah, absolutely. And would you like to breathe now?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of the continents. Okay, Europe and Africa. It's 2 continents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there was another one in there because it was such a big adventure.
I know, it's epic, isn't it? It's absolutely huge,
Yeah.
this one. I don't think we've ever seen a package quite so... I mean, we've seen world cruises before as well, and obviously they're longer in duration. But I have to say, what you've got in your 41 nights here, and listen, there's not everyone that can take a vacation for 41 nights. We get that, but this is a very, very special offer. And you know what? It's busy already. You know why? It goes in a matter of weeks. It goes on the 11th of March.
Wow.
How do you fancy that epic adventure? How do you fancy throwing caution to the wind and saying, yeah, do you know what? 5 years ago, I would never have considered a 41-night holiday. But a lot has happened in the last 5 years. So maybe you're in the position right now, sitting there watching this, where you think, do you know what? Should we look at each other and say, well, we can, so shall we? life is for living after all, isn't it? I'm going to roll the numbers on this because remember, this is such an epic package. It's brilliant, I have to tell you. Remember all your flights and your stays and that massively epic cruise, all included at $12,299 per person. But what a holiday. You will never have had a holiday like this ever, ever, ever. I tell you what, if you want to upgrade as well to an ocean view, have a look at this, because actually, considering this is a 35-night cruise, honestly, that upgrade is tiny, tiny, tiny. Now, we should do a quiz now on that offer. What do you remember? How many different places? But let me tell you, you fly from Sydney to Cape Town in South Africa. You've got 2 nights in a hotel there, so your hotel included there as well. Holland America's Zuidam is your cruise, 35 nights. This is called a Grand World Voyage to Africa, the Gambia, Senegal, Namibia, Angola, Ghana, the Ivory Coast, and then on to Europe, the Canaries, Morocco, Spain, France, the UK, even Portugal there as well. And you're into Amsterdam. When you leave the cruise 35 nights later, you've got 2 nights in a hotel in Amsterdam before you fly back to Sydney from Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, which is lovely. And remember, this package is based on Sydney flight, but of course we can arrange it from other cities as well. Just talk to the team, 1300 306 134. How many people are seriously now looking at each other watching this show? Looking at each other right now saying, shall we? Shall we? Because you know what? It's funny, a show like this, you were maybe just flicking around the channels and you found us and you thought, oh, this is different. I'll stay and watch. And 15 minutes later, we've just taken you through one massive, epic 41-night holiday and you've made your decision. You've looked at each other and said, this was meant to be. Got the number there if you want to book right now, 1300 306 134, and it's toll free. But in this show, we have a lot more to show you than that as well.
Exactly. Hot on the foot of bringing you all the way to Africa. We're going to be heading to Europe, where we are going on an MSC adventure with MSC Cruises, Istanbul and Gallipoli. A fabulous tour followed by a fabulous cruise around Italy, and that's 18 nights leaving on the 8th of November. Now we're going to fly you from Sydney to Istanbul, where your 5-night escorted tour begins. Wow. Here you're going to be greeted at the airport and transferred to your hotel, getting the rest of the evening to spend at your own leisure in one of Turkey's most bustling cities. Now, what you're looking at here and some of the highlights that you're going to be seeing across this tour, on day 2, for instance, you'll visit Topkapi Palace and then on to St. Sophia, the Blue Mosque. The Hippodrome is also included before finishing your day at the world-famous Grand Covered Bazaar. Bring your negotiation skills with this one. Trust me on it. It's so much fun to actually go in there and negotiate. Now, on day 3, you'll tour the old side of Istanbul before going on to visit Gallipoli, the Anzac Cove, Lone Pine Cemetery, Johnson's Jolly, as well as the New Zealand Memorial. Then you'll travel on to Çanakkale for the evening. Now on day 4, this is going to be spectacular, as you're going to get to visit Troy with its famous wooden horse before returning to Çanakkale for the afternoon, which is famous and fabulous to, explore and do your own thing. Then you'll head back to Istanbul in the evening for a further night in a hotel to round off this amazing adventure. Wow, this is all fully escorted. You'll see the top sights. I mean, how else could you do this and see so much? Most of your meals are included each day, plus you'll get a free time to explore and do some of your own, shopping and things like that. Then it's time to relax and unwind as you join your cruise on board the MSC Poesia for 11 nights, and you'll start with an overnight in port in Istanbul. That's brilliant. So that gives you an extra little bit of time in Istanbul to do your own thing. Maybe you want to head to a hammam or something like that. Now, this beautiful ship from the MSC fleet, of course, these are Italian vessels, so you have that influence, sort of, that thread throughout the ship. All the spaces are, appointed to look like beautiful areas in Italy, for example, like you could imagine one looking like a little piazza in Rome or something like that. The food is also superb, being that you know, the focus is on Italian cuisine. But if you like to try a little bit of something else, of course, they have their specialty restaurants. They have so many options, from sushi through to your traditional English fare and so much more, and steakhouse. I mean, it's all there for you on as you venture on board this beautiful and elegant vessel.
It's a good opportunity as well when you're on board with MSC, because MSC attracts visitors from a number of different countries as well. So it's a real kind of melting pot. It's a really lovely cruise line to actually meet other people from different countries as well. It's often a real lovely meeting of minds on this cruise line.
You've got to try the Chocoholics buffet night too. They have the chocolate fountains, like everything is chocolate. It's delicious. Oh, and mini golf too. That's so much fun. After your overnight in Istanbul, we're going to be cruising into Piraeus, the port for Athens, where you can hit all the hot spots such as the Parthenon, the Acropolis, the Temple of Zeus, and the amazing museums that support those. On to Palermo, Sicily, where you can visit some of the most beautiful UNESCO World Heritage sites, and the Piazza Pretoria is a particular point of interest right there as well. Civitavecchia is our next port. This is the port for Rome. So heading into Rome, of course, the Spanish Steps, the Colosseum, and the Trevi Fountain are must-sees. Genoa, Italy is our next port, over on the northeast coast. Very sleepy, relaxing town, but also it has lovely points of interest to take pictures of. Snap, snap, snap. Kusadasi is our next port. This is the port for Ephesus, the ancient city. The ruins are incredible, so well preserved, and there's great shopping at the port. We're then going to be disembarking the ship in Istanbul, and we're going to have a further one-night hotel stay. Now, honestly, you won't even touch the surface the first time in Istanbul, so it's lovely you get that additional night. And it might even be that you're just relaxing and decompressing before you head home, because we will fly you home back to Australia, back into Sydney after this incredible trip, where you get to see everything by land and sea that incredible Turkey has to offer, and boy does it have a lot to offer.
And in terms of the tours as well, by the way, because we've been in this business for so long, of course, what happens in travel when you've been around a long time is you arrange tours for passengers the whole time. They come back, they review, they let you know. We try different options. So 25 or over 2 decades later, we've got the cream of the crop. We only use trusted tour companies that we know ourselves, that we've sent plenty of people away, and people have come back and said to us, do you know what, that was great, I got a lot out of that as well. So we only use trusted tour firms. We're not just sort of going for the lowest common denominator. We want to make sure that it's quality through and through and through. Now, this happens in November, so I'm very, very glad to tell you that we can put a low deposit down on this right now. 2 reasons for that. First of all, you know it's happening. Secondly, we've locked in a great deal at a price tag which you know it's not going to change. We're keeping you the right side of what will be inevitable price rises, even in travel. There's nothing we can do about it. You know, the price of everything going up, and travel is the same as well. So $400 each today as a deposit gets it secured for you. And when you consider the flights and the tour and everything else, I think we've got a brilliant, brilliant offer here. $4,199 per person right now for the amount of travel, for the distance of travel, for what is included you've got here, and the variety of places you're going to. It's just a sweet spot deal, I think, this one, isn't it? And you could secure it with just a $400 deposit today. Let's have a look at the details as well in terms of the cruise. So if you want to go up in terms of the cruise, in terms of your stateroom there, so if you want to go for an ocean view or for a balcony, you have the prices there. Let me just run through what's included. So your flight from Sydney to Istanbul, that's included. You've got your 5-night stay, of course, with escorted tours included. So Istanbul itself and Çanakkale, which hosts the ancient remains of the city of Troy and its defences, was the scene of the world famous Gallipoli campaign of the First World War, of course, as well. You'll then cruise on MSC Poesia for 11 nights to the port for Athens, Sicily, Rome, Genoa in Italy, Kusadasi in Turkey, before cruising back into Istanbul. You've got another night in a hotel there before the flight back to Sydney, and all of those things that I've just talked about there are included in that price tag right now. And remember, just $400 each right now as a deposit will get this secured for you. So you've got it in the diary for November, which is incredible. This is based on a Sydney flight, of course, so if you want to fly from another city, just let us know. 1300 306 134 is our toll-free number. In fact, if you've got any questions, and I mean anything, you might want to know about one of the restaurants on the ship, you might want to know about one of the places that we're going to, you might just want to know, what do I take on a cruise with me? Well, there's lots of information on our website, and funnily enough, here is a man to tell you all about our website.
When you log on to cruiseaway.com.au, you're opening up the virtual brochure on over 9,000 cruise holidays. If you've seen a cruise on TV, just search the cruise ID here to find out more details, upgrade options, and to book online. If you're looking for inspiration, you can search by destination, departure port, cruise line, cruise ship, or cruise style. Plus, we've got an incredible selection of last-minute deals, all-inclusive cruises, and early bird specials you can't afford to miss. Log on now to cruiseaway.com.au. Your next dream holiday is only a click away.
Do you know, my producer just told me he is a man, yes, but he has a name as well. His name's Andy. So thank you very much, Andy, for telling us all about the website there. Thank you so much. Right, we're going on a very, very different adventure right now, and we're switching up cruise lines again right now. In fact, less of a cruise line and more of a destination in itself, Jo, really.
Yes, absolutely. There's nothing quite like cruising as Amara. It's more like a large yacht, in all honesty, because it's so exclusive. Everything about this adventure is exclusive. The destination as well is only select vessels that can go to the Amazon. That's right, it's the untamed Amazon. It's really going to take you off the beaten track, this one. 28 nights, leaving on the 15th of November. You're going to fly from Sydney to Miami and enjoy the Sunshine State of Florida with a one-night pre-cruise stay, enjoying all that beautiful mid-century deco architecture, perhaps down Collins Avenue in South Beach, maybe taking an Everglades airboat safari and checking out the gators. But then we're going to be flying you to Bridgetown, Barbados, and you're going to enjoy a two-night hotel stay in one of the jewels of the Caribbean's crown. That's right, Bridgetown is a favourite for holidayers around the globe, and it has a lot to offer, whether it's just strolling around Bridgetown and enjoying the famed Trafalgar Square, they have their own, or perhaps down into the beach, which is right there in the centre of town as well, or heading over to Harrison's Cave or Lime Grove for a spot of luxury shopping. It's fantastic. Then we're going to be boarding the Azamara Quest for 22 nights down the Amazon, and you've got so much included and packed into your cruise fare, which is brilliant to know. It helps with budgeting too. For starters, you've got your gratuities included. You've got standard spirits, international beers and wines, bottled water, soft drinks, specialty coffees. These are all included as well in your cruise fare. You've got shuttle services in select ports as well, were available. And you've also got your self-service laundry, which comes in handy when you're on a longer cruise, doesn't it?
It is very handy, actually, because if you feel really, really good in an outfit and you think, I want to wear that again, then you can get down to the laundry, get it all sorted within a matter of a couple of hours, and then that's it. It's ready to go again.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate luxury without having to dip into your pocket every 5 minutes, because there is so much. It's quite nice to know, actually, because some people obviously go for, go for the headline number on a holiday price, but they end up spending the same again in just incidentals,
100%.
this and that. We've all done it 1,000 times. With this, you've got that luxury product. Yes, it comes at a premium, but the offering far outweighs and outpays that
and I
premium.
think the premium will actually work out less of a premium when you see how much value you've got in there.
For sure.
And especially considering this is such a select cruise line, when you have a much higher ratio of staff to passenger, everything's so elegantly appointed. It's low key, but it's low key luxury. It's not about the big razzle dazzle. It's about the refinement of adventuring and voyaging and actually being an explorer. We're cruising out of Barbados Barbados, and our first port is going to be beautiful Santarém in Brazil, where you can look at the meeting of the waters. This is an incredible natural phenomena. Onto Boca de Valeria, where you can see the Amarandilha settlement or the beautiful Rio de Valeria as well, and take a cruise up that river. Then we're going to have an overnight in Manaus, which is, this is the port to see the Amazon. That's why we're staying there overnight. It's actually one of the Earth's last refuges for jaguars and harpy eagles as well. And you can see the famed pink river dolphins. It's home to sloths, black spider monkeys, poison dart frogs. I mean, this is wildlife paradise. Your next port is Parintins, Brazil, where you can enjoy some traditional Brazilian entertainment. That's a really fun thing to do. Drumbo Drumbo, that's actually what they do in Carnival. Fortaleza is your next port here, which is famous for its urban beaches, where you can enjoy swimming or lazing in the sun in front of those beachfront bars as well. People watching. Natal is where we're heading to next. And this is northeast Brazil. A real hotspot for travellers. It's a gateway to many stunning beaches and wildlife. Onto Recife, where you can visit a lot of cultural heritage and architecture here. It's just beautiful. You can see the buildings are stunning. Then we have an overnight in Rio de Janeiro, which you absolutely need in Rio. Heading up to Cristo Redentor, of course, the Christ with the open arms is a must on the funicular railway. That's so much fun. The Sugarloaf Mountain or Iguazu Falls are amazing things to see in the capital of Brazil. Then we're on into Uruguay, Montevideo, which is, they have amazing wineries, by the way, in this port. I visited one when I went there, and the wine is superb. We're then into, talking of amazing wine, we're on to Buenos Aires, where you'll have 2 fabulous nights in the Argentinian capital of culture, and you're going to be in a lovely hotel there. I mean, even around every corner in Buenos Aires, it's just got the wow factor. I mean, the architecture it's an influence of South America, Central America, and also Europe. But you can also watch street tango, which is so much fun. In La Boca, which means the mouth. That's the artist district. Oh, what an amazing trip. I love South America, and I think you are going to love it too. And you get to visit the Amazon as well, which is unbelievable. And a spot of the Caribbean in there. And of course, this all kicks off in Miami. We will be flying you back home to Sydney after your adventure of a monumental 29 nights away. Wow.
And there's so much of this itinerary that you won't see with other cruise lines as well, and that's what makes Azamara very, very special actually. It can get into ports that the larger cruise ships and the more commercial cruise lines can't get into or don't go into.
Exactly.
And the other thing about Azamara is they stay in port for longer as well. So there are, sometimes you have a limited day in ports because of the logistics of big commercial ports around the world. But actually Azamara, because they are taking these more sort of boutique ports, these places where not every cruise line goes to, you actually get to spend longer there, and that means that your tours and excursions can be a little bit more immersive and longer, and you feel like you're getting so much more out of it. And that really is, it's those little things that add up to make the Azamara touch. We were talking about it before. It is a premium travel product and it comes at a considered price tag, but what it pays back in terms of not just facilities on board and things that are tangible included, things like drinks and spirits and things like that, but it's also staying in port longer. It's about having that expertise on board about where you're going. It's about having different excursion opportunities. It's about going to places that cruises don't go to. I think this is exceptional. It really is. Now, it goes on the 15th of November. So again, I've got the opportunity for you to put a deposit down on this right now. Just $1,000 each right now will get this secured for you. The flights, the stays, that amazing Azamara voyage is all included in this price tag here as well, and this is really, really lovely. Remember, basically this is a full month away, and I have to tell you, with this particular cruise line, with Azamara, we talk about it being a premium product, and then I just looked at this entire holiday package is the best part of a month of vacation, including one of the smartest, most premium cruise offerings that there is in the industry. And then I look at this figure, just $1,000 each today as a deposit will get this secured for you. Let's look at the upgrade details as well. So if you want to take an ocean view or a balcony on your cruise there, you are 22 nights on the Azamara Quest there. I have to tell you, that's eye-watering value for a 22-night cruise. If it were just the cruise at this price, I'd be happy for you. So we fly you from Sydney to Miami, and we've got a one-night stay there. Then we take that short flight to Barbados from Miami for a 2-night hotel stay in Barbados, and then you join Azamara Quest for 22 nights, cruising to the Amazon region of Brazil, taking in the destinations on the Amazon River, ports to explore the rainforests themselves, cruise onto Rio with an overnight there, onto Uruguay before ending the cruise in Buenos Aires. Then you've got a 2-night stay in a hotel there before the flight back to Sydney. Again, with this is based on Sydney flights, but again, we can make that happen from other cities as well. Just speak to the team. We can make it happen to suit and tailor you. 1300 306 134 is your telephone number to dial toll free. And if you're looking for any more inspiration, by the way, we told you about it earlier, but it's always worth just jotting this down. Not now. Watch it after. Go and have a little look after the show. It's cruiseaway.com.au. Right, okay, we've got one more offer to fit in, and it's an exciting one as well. 2 parts of the world I would actually love to go to, particularly Greenland.
I've always wanted to go to Greenland.
Yes.
Like, when do you ever meet anyone who's been?
I know, like never.
That
Never.
gives you ultimate bragging rights, I
Yeah,
tell you. And the
true.
reason not many people venture there, not many travel companies offer it, is because it's such an uncharted territory. So you're going to see a lot of raw, natural beauty in this part of the world, a lot of indigenous culture, which is going to be just beautiful. And you're going to make lifelong memories on this trip. So we're heading off on MSC Cruises. What better vessel to be heading off on to see this part of the world? It's truly international, and 26 nights away, leaving on the 27th of July, where you'll fly from Sydney to Copenhagen and enjoy a one-night pre-cruise stay. Beautiful. The Tivoli Gardens, the mermaid statue, the Hans Christian Andersen down in the port, strolling down the back streets and seeing all those lovely sailboats docked, enjoying some traditional Danish cuisine, maybe some beautiful fresh fish as it's known for. It's such an adorable city, this one.
It's a wonderful sail out of Copenhagen as well,
yeah.
isn't it? It's really, really beautiful. And talking of sailing out, here she is. It's MSC Poesia, and you are on board for 21 incredible nights. We talked about MSC a little bit earlier, and this is one of the smaller MSC offerings, isn't it? Because of course they've got into the big ship market right now. But Poesia is nice and sort of medium size, very, very nicely appointed. It just looks very, very elegant and relaxing.
And talking about elegant and relaxing, from the minute you get on board, the foyer, they have this gorgeous waterfall and Zen garden welcoming you in, and that truly is the epitome of relaxation, if you ask me, seeing that. You've got sushi bar, you've got your fantastic traditional restaurant, your main dining rooms, Il Palladio and La Fontane, and you've got lots of lounge bars offering you things like wine tasting, cocktail mixing. There's lots of things you can book to do whilst you're on board the beautiful ship, of course. Up to the spa, maybe, to enjoy the steam room. The Aurea Spa has got, it's well stocked, of course, with all those treatments, but you have the sauna, you have the thalassotherapy beds and all of those things to enjoy after a day exploring, perhaps in the cooler climes. I can't think of anything better to come back to than a nice relaxing time in the spa. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Do you see the chocolate fountain there? It looks wonderful. So we do that wonderful sail out of Copenhagen on this one then, and our first port is in Germany.
Yeah, Warnemünde. This is the port for Berlin, but you have got right there in Warnemünde. The beach is amazing with these incredible, you'll see these incredible kind of beach beds that are out all year round, and they make amazing photo pics. Reykjavik, we've got an overnight where you can head to the Blue Lagoon, which is unbelievable at any time of day, and at night it really comes to life. The geothermal field is a thing of wonder as well in this geologically rich environment of Iceland. A day at sea is going to see us into Greenland. Ilulissat. Now, this is a lovely coastal town in western Greenland with exceptional views on the valley, glaciers and icebergs and everything you'd expect. Nuuk's our next port, the capital of Greenland. It's a small city on the country's southwest coast. It's known for its large fjord system, waterfalls and humpback whales. Next, we're into Qaqortoq, southern Greenland, set with a system of fjords as well, and beautiful museums talking about Greenlandic culture, which I'd like to find out about. Akureyri's our next port, and this is going to be your base for the fjords of northern Iceland, which is lovely. You can do some whale watching whilst you're there and see some lovely views. Next, we're into Lerwick in the Shetland Islands, which are a beautiful archipelago at the top of the UK in Scotland and are so tranquil and relaxing. Then we're back into Copenhagen, where we're going to have one night after we disembark in a hotel to enjoy the finest Danish city. There she is. There's our mermaid. Yes, you've got to have a selfie with her. Do you know what I love about this part of the world as well is that they have the little you go to have a nice drink in a bar and they have the blankets outside to keep you cozy at night, which is adorable. It's truly Scandinavian.
It's nice to go there a couple of times.
The Danish, as well, isn't it? My goodness, yeah. They say this is one of the top 10 cities in the world to live. Okay, so look at this, a little recap for you. Starting off in Denmark, in Copenhagen, on to Warnemünde, Iceland, then we're on into Greenland. Unbelievable to actually get to go and explore Greenland. So few people on Earth have done it. And then we're back in to Iceland before heading to the Shetland Islands, of course, in the UK, and disembarking in Copenhagen.
I think they say in this part of the world, I might be slightly off, but it feels like a smorgasbord of an offer, doesn't it? There's lots going on here, and as Joe said, we were both talking about this before the show, and we were like, this is really, really interesting, because we've seen Iceland come up on some itineraries before, but Iceland and Greenland together, and a little bit of this and that. I think it's a really, really lovely holiday, this one. It goes on the 27th of July. I'm going to show you the numbers on this straight away, because I think actually this is not about the price that it is or isn't. This is about the adventure that you're going on. It's a great price. Of course, it's a great price. You're with CruiseAway. 6,399 per person. This goes in July. You can put a deposit down on this if you like as well. Just speak to the team 1300 306 134 to get all the details. Talking of details, let's have a look if we want to upgrade on the cruise, because there's a lot of scenic cruising in this, isn't there? Up there in Iceland and in Greenland, actually. So you might want to see that from your stateroom. So an ocean view or a balcony, you've got your prices there. So just to remind you, we fly you from Sydney to Copenhagen in Denmark. We have a one-night stay in a hotel there. Then we join the cruise ship, which is MSC Poesía. 21 nights of cruising Greenland and Iceland, with an overnight in Iceland's capital, Reykjavik, as well. We then sail back to Copenhagen, and we do it via the Shetland Islands of Scotland, which is amazing, and another one-night stay in Copenhagen at the end of the cruise before we fly you back to Australia. And this again, I think is, yes, it is based on Sydney flights. Again, if you need to or want to fly from another city, then please let us know. 1300 306 134. What an incredible, incredible adventure. While we all drink that in, by the way, let's remind you why so many people put the trust of their holidays right in our hands.
With over 25 years of travel experience, when booking with CruiseAway, you're dealing with the cruise specialists. We can tailor-make the perfect holiday for you, adding hotel stays and exciting land tours so you can fully immerse yourself in the destinations you're visiting. We allow you to spread the cost of your holiday. Just pay a deposit today, and then you have until the due date to pay your balance. You can browse our deals online at cruiseaway.com.au or call us toll free and speak to one of our experienced cruise consultants based right here in Australia. Plus, as a fully accredited member of CLIA, AFTA and ATAS, you have total confidence and complete peace of mind when booking with us. CruiseAway, you know you want to.
Oh, blimey, don't we ever? Honestly, from that show, I am dizzy with ideas. Are you?
I mean, my goodness, you'll be like the envy of all your friends having been to these far-flung, exciting, exotic destinations.
Yeah.
My goodness, you will feel like you have travelled once you book an adventure like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Would you
Africa, Greenland, Iceland, Europe, you take your pick, really.
Please do us a favour and at least send us a postcard, won't you, or an
Yes.
email, and just and just
From
tell us.
Kakatock,
Yeah,
Greenland.
just tell us how good it was, because we have had some real adventures. And if you're just switching on right now and you're like, what adventures? Go to our YouTube channel right now.
Yes.
You'll find all of our shows there. Just search for CruiseAway Australia and you'll find it all there. In the meantime, if there's anything we can help you with, and our experienced team of cruise consultants, please do not hesitate to pick up the phone. It's a free call, 1300 306 134. From Joe and myself, we're all fizzing with ideas. Thank you so much for your company, and we'll see you back here soon for more.
See you soon.